What is going on, guys? We're back playing some more Surviving with Thaumcraft 5, and today, guys, we're going to be messing around with the magic mirrors and with the Thaumostatic harness. Now, both of these things are really awesome additions to the game, but they are not by any means required when you're playing with Thaumcraft 5. They just add some quality of life changes. So the Thermostatic harness pretty much acts like a jetpack, except for Thaumcraft. So at the cost of some V, you're going to be able to fly. It's 1 Ignis and 1 air, so it just requires that you have some of those in the area around you, and then the magic mirror is actually going to allow us to teleport items, whether it's between dimensions or if I just wanted to stand over here, throw an item into a mirror and have it pop out in the Infernal Furnace. And that's actually what we're going to be using it for, so that we can have one in our inventory, throw it in there, and then it pops over and we can come up and it'll be sitting down cooked in the hungry chest there. So I think these are both going to be really cool to mess around with, but there is a fair bit of research that needs to be done with these. So we're going to start out with these two pieces of research, and I guess we should start out with the magic mirrors because we kind of have two different branches of research that we need to do. Now, you might notice if you open your Thaumonomicon right away that you do not have the ability to research magic mirror. It's actually called mirror magic, but pretty much what you need to do is take out your Thaumometer and you pretty much just you can scan ender pearls. You should be able to scan any portal. So if it's the end portal, you should be able to scan that. Even a nether portal. I scanned an ender pearl though, and that should give you the research for it. And then you should be good to go. Now, if we look in here, we're going to be starting out with this research, and we're not actually going to be getting the Essentia mirrors today, but you do have the ability to transport Essentia through mirrors. We're going to get the portable mirror though, pretty much, which goes in your inventory, and then you can connect it to one that's actually sitting in the real world. So the first research is going to be right here. You can feel free to pause the video if you want to look at this, and we might actually do the next one on camera, depending on how difficult it is. So let's come in here. Oh, so it's only 3 experience levels, so we don't even need to do research for that. So we can just click that and boom, there we go. So I guess it's a good thing that I actually checked before cutting the video to try and do the research off camera. So we're a little low on experience now. Hopefully any of the research we have to do later is not going to be based on experience levels. But we can actually go and do the magic mirrors now, and then we'll come back and we'll look at the Thaumostatic harness a little bit later and do the research for that in a bit. So I'm going to drop this back over here, and we can search up mirrors. Now this requires a little bit of infusion work, but to start out we need mirrored glass, and we're going to have to make 2 mirrors. You pretty much link mirrors in pairs of 2. You can't have any more than that, and you do of course need 2, so you're actually sending it somewhere. So we need the mirrored glass, and that's what we're going to be using this quicksilver for. And then we're going to grab out all this stuff right here. So we'll make this real quick, and our wand should be good to make 2 of those. So it's just quicksilver and glass. And then the rest of it's going to be infusions. So we need to make 2 magic mirrors. And these are really easy to make. You need some gold and you need an ender pearl. And then they require modus, they require tenebrae, and then they require permutatio. Now, we've never seen tenebrae before, but this might look a little daunting to get. I think you can get it from endstone if we take a look at that. Actually can't see it in here if we can get it from endstone, but I think you can get it from endstone, but you can also get it from mushrooms. So if you just go and gather some mushrooms, each one of these has the ability to give you 1, so it does require that you get a little bit of those, but it's a lot easier than having to actually get endstone or any of the other difficult stuff you might need for that. So now we can come over and start doing the infusions. I should have everything we need for it, and they only require 4 pedestals. So let's start out with 1 right over here, and we'll do gold, gold. I know this isn't perfectly the way you'd like it, but I'm just being lazy right now because it's got very low instability. And let's just do one last check, make sure that's right, and that we've got everything. Yep, instability is negligible, so we should be good, and we can start this one up. So these should be relatively fast just because it doesn't actually require that much Essentia for it. It also doesn't have that many items, but we'll keep an eye on these just in case they do pop off. Really hoping we don't lose the ender pearl because I only have 1 extra sitting in my chest, but it was actually the one that I used to scan it. I don't know why I got an extra one to scan with, but let it suck those up, and we should have our magic mirror. Okay, so there we go. We've got 1 magic mirror complete. Now, of course, we have to make our second one, and this one is eventually going to get turned into the handheld magic mirror, which will stay in our inventory, but we can just start this one up real quick, and we should be good. So I'm going to keep an eye just to make sure the tenebrae is good, because that is the one that I wasn't sure if we had enough of. Oh yeah, it's down there. We definitely do. Okay. So it should be good as long as nothing pops off. We gain some warp. We can always take a bath over there if we need it. We actually might do that right when we're done with this, so we don't have any possible creeper effects. Okay, so we got our second magic mirror. We can come over here and take a little bit of a bath, and we should be sitting here for a second. Yep, we got our warp board going there. So we're good with this. Now the next thing we need to do is use the portable mirror. It's not called a portable mirror, it's called a magic hand mirror, but I'd call it a portable mirror because it pretty much sits in your inventory for you. Now this one only requires 3 pedestals, and it requires kind of weird stuff. It needs a compass, an empty map, and a stick. So it's not super annoying to get, but it's just kind of weird. I guess it's because it's moving around with you and stuff like that, but it does have some instability. And because it requires 3, I don't know if there's an ideal way to set this up, but I'm just going to do it like this so we can keep an eye on this. And I really hope we don't lose the map, but we're going to throw one of these down in there, and we can take a look just to show you guys. It requires 16 modus and 16 instrumentum, and we should have enough instrumentum. Yeah, we got 29 over there. Okay, so we can start this up, keep an eye on this. If we lose the map, I might have to hop off camera. I don't even know if I have the stuff needed to craft another one, but it shouldn't take too long. It doesn't have that much Essentia required for it. I really just wanted to suck up the map. I can redo a compass easily. Oh. Get the compass back down there. Good thing we're keeping an eye on it. I think it sucked up the map and we didn't lose it. Just while we weren't looking. There we go. Okay, so now we have the magic hand mirror, portable mirror, whatever you want to call it. So the way that you link these is pretty much you put one down and then you just click on it with the other mirror and they're linked, and you can do that of course with a plain magic mirror or a portable one, whichever you want to do. Now we're going to be putting it up here in the Infernal Furnace, and it was suggested that I do this because we've got hoppers here right now. It's kind of a pain to throw things in here, and it'd be a lot easier if I could just throw something in this magic mirror in my hand and it would just get cooked down and go in this chest here along with our assorted meats and nuggets. So we're going to break these 2 hoppers up here. We can break that one, and then there's another one here that we can actually break. So let me actually get up here, and this is gonna fall in there and not be good. Oh no, we were able to get it back. Okay, so I do need to go get a couple blocks for this just because I want to fill it in to make sure we don't have any issues with things kind of popping around up there. So let's just get some regular stone, and we'll fill this in. Oh, don't want to fall in. So we'll fill this in right here and right up here. And what we're going to do is take the magic mirror and we're just going to right click it down right there. It looks pretty cool. If you guys can see it right there, it looks like a fancy mirror. And what this will do is when we throw items in here, they're just going to pop right out the front and fall down into the Infernal Furnace. And of course, it's perfectly fine for things to just fall in there because you'd normally just toss them in there from your inventory. So next thing I'm going to do to make sure that it actually just goes right here is, well, I guess we should connect them first. So we're going to take this, and we're just going to right click on it. We got the link established, and now you can see in our inventory that not only does it tell us that the link is established in chat, but it also has this mirror glowing, and it tells you where it's linked to. So unfortunately we don't have the other mirror in our inventory, but you can see it on this one at least to verify that it's linked. And then what we can do is cover this up, and if we wanted to cook something, we could right click with this magic mirror. It pretty much pulls up a UI for this that's very self-explanatory. You just take the item and you throw it in there and it sucks it out, and it should get kicked right out of the Infernal Furnace into the hungry chest because it got dropped in there. So I think that's pretty darn cool. That way we can get things out of our inventory no matter where we are in the world. If I'm mining and I want to cook things down, all I have to do is just right click and dump all this stuff in here and we're good to go. So now that we've got that rolling, we can start jumping into the next portion of research that we're going to be doing today, which is going to require this and all this stuff right in here. So this piece of research right here is going to be for, I guess we should open up our Thaumonomicon first to show you guys, but we're going to be researching to get the Thaumostatic harness, which should be somewhere up here, and we'll get to why it's not there in a second. It's another hidden research, but right now we're going to be getting the Paving Stone of Travel. So we've got that research note right here, and it looks something like this. Really easy to do, and we'll take that, we'll research that, and then open up our Thaumonomicon, and we'll get a research note for the Arcane Levitator. So let's see how difficult this research note is. Okay, so this isn't a difficult research note too. Might as well do this one on camera. Let me see how bad I am at doing research on camera, because normally I do it off camera and I do a very sloppy job of it. So I'm not sure how bad it'll be on camera. So let's see. we want to combine these, and what is this again? So that's air. Do that there, that there. Might as well do ordo there. And then we are left here, and we're in an awkward spot, so we'll just do a little bit of a connection, right? We'll just do it like this. Might as well, boom. There we go. Research for this was, again, very easy. And you can see that the description for this is next best thing to flying. So we're getting there. We're getting close to flying. So we'll research that. And then we can come in here. And if you don't know what the paving stones of travel do, they pretty much just say you can put down paving stones. And then when you walk on them, you'll have greater speed and agility. So if you're making a path, you can use these. Then we get to the Arcane Levitator, which is actually going to allow you to levitate when you're above it up to 8 blocks into the air. So it does consume some air Vs, or some air V while it's running, but that's really it. So we got that, and now there's no research after that, and that's because thanks to Thaumcraft's great hidden research, we do have to scan something. Now I've heard that you should be able to scan anything with, I believe it's called the Voltus, which is just this aspect. If we take a look over here, it should look like a feather. I've heard you're supposed to be able to scan anything with this in it, but then I've also heard that you are supposed to scan the Arcane Levitator itself, which makes a little bit more sense. So we're going to try that out on camera right now. The Levitator is not difficult to make. I'd be more hesitant to do that on camera if it required infusions, but it doesn't. So it's just going to take some wood, some night ore, an air shard, 2 iron, and a brass gear. So we can grab that out and we can plop it down right here. And you can see it's got some cool particle effects on it. It's not even oriented correctly, but we really don't care. So we just want to scan this, and we can learn nothing new from this. Okay, so I actually am going to hop off camera and figure out what we need to scan to be able to get the research for the Thaumostatic harness. So I'll be right back, guys. Okay guys, so I finally figured out what the last piece of research is that we need to be able to unlock the Thaumostatic harness research and then complete that. So I have it in my inventory right now, and it is going to be the automated wand recharging, which is for the recharge pedestal right here. I don't really know why I never made this early on, but we do need that research completed. So if you need to see what that research is, we'll throw it in for you right here. It's really simple. This one actually looks pretty decent. I didn't screw it up that much considering we pretty much just link it using ordo for the most part, but you can pause the video if you need to take a longer look at that, and now we can learn it. And now that we have this, we should be able to come in here and get the Thaumostatic harness. So you also may notice that in here I've completed a lot of stuff, like a lot of stuff that I did not have before. That is because I could not figure out for the life of me what we needed, and I assumed that if I scanned everything these would pop in, but it turns out that that's not the case. I needed more research, so I went and did a lot of research on things in this tab that I did not have yet, and it just didn't unlock it. And there was no documentation or anything for how to get this, but I finally figured it out, so thank goodness for that. But now we need to research this, and we're not actually going to be using the Thaumostatic girdle today. We're just going to be doing the harness because this is what's going to allow us to fly. This is kind of just an addition to it, but we need to do the research for this now. And ooh, this is a long one, but let's see if we can complete it together because I think that'd actually be funny. So I feel like I should get away from using air really fast because all of these require it, like pretty much all of these. Oh great, we don't have our ward up anymore. That's great. Let's get to Ignis over here. I feel like that might be a good way to go about doing this. And we can swap this over to ordo. And let's mix. What do we want to mix? We can mix these two because we've got a fair bit of Pedestal. And then we can mix ordo and that to try and transition it over here. And then do Pedestal and then Chilm. And we've run out of ink. Okay, we'll swap it out in my inventory for this. And we can connect this over here. Vacuos. Oh, why did I just do that? Darn it. Okay, we'll make another one. I forgot. We got to put that down first. Then we got to take the Vacuos. And this one's a little bit awkward just because of how we come out. So let's do second Vacuos. And we'll just do... How do we want to do this? That there. That there. Boom. We're done. I'll leave that in there if you guys want to pause and see the completed one. But we're done with that now. And boom, we got level 10 and we got the Thaumostatic harness. So we can actually purchase this with 3 experience levels. So we now have those. Let's take a look at it. So we finally managed to unlock the secret of flight. You have a harness that anchors itself to the thaumic field using thermostatic energy. You think quantums and quarks might also be involved somehow. It's powered by V, so it will need to be charged, and air and Ignis are what provide it with power for 1 second of flight. So it's good that we are recharging that in the area now that we've pulled some of the nodes over to us. It has enough internal buffer for 5 minutes of V of flight, and you can press H while wearing it to activate or deactivate it. You can get enchants on it, and it will not reduce your block breaking speed. Okay, so this one's actually a little bit annoying to make because we need Machina, Modus, Potentia, and Volatus. So I'm actually not sure if I have all these after we used them up. I feel like I might have all of them. I might need to hop off camera to get them, but because the instability is high, I made sure I had a lot of extra of what we're putting around to infuse into the leather tunic. So we can go take a look at that over here and see what we have. So we should have enough Modus. We needed 16 of that. I feel like we're not gonna have enough Volatus. Yeah, so we're at 7 on that. Then we needed Machina, which is right there. We've got 38 of that. And the last one, what was the last one for this? We need Potentia. So do we even have any Potentia right now? We actually might not. I might have used up all of it. Okay, so I'm actually going to hop off camera again real quick to fill these up. I might have to go travel a little bit to get the stuff required to fill them up, but then we'll be back, we'll do the infusion, and we will get to fly around a little bit. Okay, so we should have everything ready to go for the infusion now, so all we need to do are actually grab the rest of the ingredients. So I left in here everything that we're going to need, including the stuff to craft the Morphic Resonator, just so I could show you guys how much you actually do need for this, assuming nothing goes wrong. So we can grab all this out of here into our inventory, and all we really do need to craft is the Morphic Resonator. Whoops, wrong bench. And the Morphic Resonator is just going to be a tainted shard. And once you get one of those and you scan it, and you can actually make them really easily, it's not actually a pain in the butt to get, and then it's just 2 brass plates and 2 glass panes, and boom, there we go, Morphic Resonator. Now I'm going to throw all these on their own slot so that I can just keep track of what's going on with what while we're doing this in case we lose any. So we got to throw the leather tunic in the center, and then we got 2 air shards, we need 2 pieces of iron, 2 brass plates, and 2 great wood planks, and then I want to say we have 9 things, and the 9th one, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, so the 9th one is the Morphic Resonator, and I'm actually going to swap that out with one of these brass plates, so we'll put that there, and the brass plate just can go right there for whatever, for ease of access if something goes wrong. So let's get this going. We'll keep track of everything's on the hotbar. Nice. So this should be going pretty good. It's gonna be a little bit difficult to keep track of everything, but hopefully we can. It's got a high instability, but okay, the iron's the one I'm really trying to look at the most right now for popping off. What are we at? Man, there's so much that it's got to pull in. I really hate when there's a ton that it's got to bring in. We're soon gonna have to up the stability of our infusion altar, which we can easily do. I've just been lazy, but now that we're getting into high instability infusions, it's actually kind of important because some of the stuff that we're using is expensive, and if it disappears, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt. Oh, something just... okay, nothing actually disappeared. There was just a slight explosion. A little scary. What are we looking at? It's almost done. It's just almost sucking in the items. That's almost the hardest part, actually, just because when it starts sucking in the items, you don't know which ones have gone in and which ones haven't. So you kind of got to keep track, and you're like, oh, did it get sucked in? Did it disappear? Obviously, it goes in order, but... okay, so we're looking pretty good. Pretty good. All that's left is just iron, really, and 1 great wood. Okay, and I'll just pull out the iron in case something were to go wrong at the very last minute. I don't think it would, but if something did go wrong... oh, there we go. I'm actually amazed that we had no issues with that. That's really awesome. Okay, so now we can throw this on. It does have a couple things on it. It's not charged right now, but it does have a discount for V and air. But we can throw it on. It looks pretty weird, actually. So let's take a look at this. It does look really weird, though. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that, like, medallion that we're wearing right now, but other than, I mean, like, we looked really cool like that, but we do have this if we want to check it out in F5. It does look very large on our back right now. but it does allow us to fly. And if we looked at if we hit H, we can enable and disable it, but right now it is not charged at all, so we do need to charge that. Okay guys, so the one last thing that I needed to do so that we were good to go was to make the recharge pedestal, which I actually just did off camera. It's not a hard infusion, but I didn't actually realize right away that we would need this. In one of the versions of Thaumcraft 5, you did not need this and it could just draw it from the aura, but we did have to assist it a little bit. It was not charging, just holding onto it. So what you do is you pretty much take this, you just right click it on the pedestal, you can see how full it is, and like I said, it has 5 minutes of flight worth of internal storage on it. It's recharging, and as you can see over here in our Thaumic dioptras, the air and Ignis are dropping, but luckily they will be replenished very quickly once this is done. So it's at 300, that should be capped out at 100%. And now that we've got it on, we can actually see a pretty darn cool animation when we start using it. So it might be toggled off. So now it's toggled on, that awesome animation there, and we can now fly. We can go all over the place, just like a beast. And you can see it's slowly draining right now, but we do have 5 minutes of it. Now, one thing to just be cautious of is that you don't use it too much, because you don't want to wear out all of or throw the whole aura in your area out of whack, especially if you don't have a way to easily recharge these or have them be replenished. Especially since the totem is not the best way of doing that. It's pretty much to get nodes. So if you don't have those, then I would not suggest using this that much. But if you do, you can just go crazy, have a fun time, all that good stuff. So that's going to be it for today, guys. One thing I do want to say is I am back at school, so that's why the videos have been spaced out a little bit more. And that's why the sound quality might be a little bit lower, but I will try and work on that throughout the year. I just got back like 2 days ago, and I've been having classes and trying to get settled in, so it has been a little bit rough trying to record with, a roommate again and all that stuff, but we should be back on track for the most part within a week or so. So I apologize for that, and I want to say thank you to all of you that are understanding about that. Same with streaming and all that good stuff. It's a little hard to do now that I'm back at school when I'm trying to get everything situated, but do not worry, we will be back on track in the near future. But that's going to be it for today, guys. If you found the video entertaining or informative in any way, please feel free to give it a like, because it does help me out a lot. And I will talk to you guys later.